comic books, movies, TV, and more. Nerds are everywhere. It's time to assemble! It's Nerds United.
Hello and welcome back. It's time for a brand new Nerds United. I'm your host, me, Greg Mahochko. This gentleman over here to my, well, on screen, it's my right. You're right. Anyway, he over here, Mike Luther, the co-host of the year. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good. I mean, I don't like this cold weather. I think we've established that. I've had to, I already started winterizing my house or my townhouse, I guess you could say. I have my big plastic sheet over the living room windows.
Yes.
I have my big blanket over the back door because, by the way, my house has basically zero installation.
That's convenient.
I still need to put up another plastic sheet over, or the plastic film, you guys know what I mean, over the kitchen window. And then I probably should eventually take this AC unit out in my upstairs room. It hasn't been running, but I have the fan on just for the noise.
It would be beneficial.
Yeah, I'll probably take that out tonight after the gym.
Mike, it's 9:30 now.
Yep.
You're still going to go to the gym?
I haven't gone to the gym today, so I need to go. And I planned it this way because I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym instead of doing other stuff after this. I'm going to go to the gym, and then come home.
What other
maybe
stuff? Clean?
I don't know, just whatever.
Okay.
You know, like I just want to be productive after this stuff. You know
what I'm going to do after this?
Sit on your recliner and pretend you're not going to fall asleep, and then fall asleep.
Even better. I'm just going to go to bed.
Oh, okay, nice.
I'm just straight up as soon as we sign off, and of course a little peek behind the curtain for everybody watching or listening. We always talk another 5 or 10 minutes or so after the show's over. All the juicy deets we can't say on the pod, or whenever I say no, I'll tell you off air. Those types of conversations. But so when I stand up from this chair, I'm going to let the dog out, let the dog back in. Obviously, I'm not cruel, and I'm going to bed.
There you go.
It is. I can go to bed right now, but I'd rather be here with you, Mike.
Well, that's good.
So, all right. Well, before we jump into the usual, I don't know if you heard the sound of me cracking a cold one.
I did.
I was at Total Wine there in Fairview Heights last week. I wanted to get a selection of various beers. Got a couple Oktoberfests, got a couple of upcoming Christmas seasonal beers. Look forward to going back and trying some more. They were out of stock of one that I wanted to put in my sampler pack. But I asked the gentleman, I thought he was a Total Wine employee. He was not. He's a vendor.
Okay.
But I didn't know that at the time. I said, do you happen to have any New England IPAs? Because about this time last year when I was up in New England, I had some. I'm like, oh, damn, those are pretty good. He says, I'm sorry, I'm a vendor. I said, okay, not a problem. He said, wait a minute. I think I might be able to suggest or at least point you in the right direction. So I've got a Sierra Nevada hazy little thing IPA.
Okay. Now, are you an IPA fan? I didn't think you were.
I'm not, but there's something different about those New England IPAs. They're a little less bitter, a little, I don't want to say sweeter, but they just hit different.
Okay, I'm going to have to try one now.
Sierra Nevada, family owned, operated, and argued over is what it says here on the can, which is pretty great. Let's see here. Chico, California, Mills River, North Carolina. I'm just looking for some ABV, 6.7% ABV. They won't put the IBUs on the can, but this little guy could pack a punch tonight, Mike.
All right, perfect. Like I said, I'm not a fan of IPAs, but if a New England IPA is a little different, I'll give that a try.
Sometime we'll have to go up to New England IPA and get it, up to New England and get it from the source.
There you go. Absolutely.
The only place you can get New England IPA, by God, no. So that's new. And then obviously we didn't do the show last week. Friday night was not a good night for me. There's some things here. And then Saturday you had a Halloween party. So how was the party?
It was fine. It was, just a couple of friends get together. Actually, I saw some people that I hadn't seen in a long time, but it was still good. I didn't stay too long though.
I like I said, I saw people I hadn't seen, but it was still okay.
It was. Sometimes you never know.
Did you dress up because it was a Halloween party? Did you dress up, Mike?
It was mandatory that we dressed up.
Nice. What'd you go as?
I don't know what it really. I guess old lady. And I you should have seen some of the other costumes there. Actually, well, by the way, so my friend Corey, I'll say, because I don't think he listens.
He should,
yes, but I don't think he does. He said you have to dress up. Like you're basically like, you're not coming in unless you're. I'm like, okay, whatever. Right. I was like, and he's like, he goes something like, I have an old lady's wig for you if you can get like a dress. And I'm like, I probably can't get a dress. And he's like, don't worry, I'll get one for you. And so he had like this old lady's wig, dress, pearls. By the way, I only wore the like I said, maybe I was there like an hour and a half, something like that. But I wore it for a while. But anyway, so I go there, and as soon as I kind of got in late because I was waiting for him to, usually like if he's having people over, or if he wants me to come over, he'll Snapchat me or message me, text me or whatever, and say like, hey, I'm off work now, give me time to shower and stuff like that, and come on over. Well, I'm waiting. I'm expecting like 9:30. I finally I want to say it's like 10:30.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm not hearing anything from him. And so I was about ready to just not go. And then he texted and said, like, hey, are you coming? So anyway, so then
we could have done the show after all.
Maybe, yeah, probably. And then I get there and there's, I want to say probably 2 people that just don't have costumes on. I was like, well, I guess it's not very mandatory then. No, it was, like I said, it was fun. Watched they were really weird because so in his kitchen there were people, and I'm not going to name names, that were sitting around talking politics, which is not what I want to do at a party.
No.
So me, Corey,
but you also got to remember we're in our 40s now, so
yes, but I think these same people would have been doing it if in their 20s, 30s. It doesn't matter.
Do I know any of these people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so me, Corey, and Moo, we go to the living room, and because Corey's like, hey, do you want to watch the MJF Kenny Omega AEW match? I'm like, yeah, sure. So they're doing their politics thing in the living room. We're being good little boys, just watching wrestling. And then slowly they
fight breaks out in the kitchen.
Well, no, then they start trickling into the living room. And then like looking at the TV, like, oh, what's this? And then complain, and then still wanting to talk politics.
Yeah.
And we're like, guys, we got away from you. We didn't want to, I don't care how much you love or hate, whoever.
People.
Like, yeah. So, but yeah, it was good. I always good time when I see Corey.
I had an unexpected adventure.
Okay.
This morning.
Ooh.
I dropped Garrett off at work. I almost at work at school.
It's about time he got a job.
He needs to start pulling his weight around here.
That's right.
Dropped him off at school, and since we had the drop in temperature, air pressure went down in my tires.
Yes,
in the van. So, and I got the notices like inflate to 36. Said, okay, well, I need to get gas anyway. I'll go up to Circle K. Circle K's got a really nice air pump because you hit your card, you put in what you need it filled to, your tires, and it'll beep when it's there, and you can move on to the next tire. And it's like $2 something, $2.50 maybe for it's like that's fine. I know some places have it free, but this just seemed convenient. So I'm at the first tire, and it was only on 31, 32, and I set it to 36, and it didn't beep. I said, well, that's probably like I better move on. Like that's enough. Let me move to the
Right.
next one. And I it didn't beep at all. But then I got into the van and I saw what the air pressures were. It was like 46, 47. The first one that was like forever was 57 psi.
Oh my gosh.
So there were people waiting to use the air pump. So I didn't stay there, but I went not even a quarter mile down the road, pulled into an empty parking lot, and I do have a tire gauge.
Okay.
That I got that out and verified that it was like the sensors weren't whacked. Sensors were fine because it was corroborating all these. So I just let air out of the tires down to 36. And then as the tires warmed up and everything, all of a sudden it's like 38, 39. I'm like, damn it. Can't win.
I'm glad to know that, only because like I would have assumed that if it says 36 is like the PSI you need, if you took it up to 50, it would explode.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. And knowing that I was driving out to Salem this morning, I'm like, don't want to hit a pothole bad or something like that,
Right.
and blow a tire. So yeah, that's why I very quickly got over, pulled off, and again, I'm suited and booted. I'm like, let me check it. Oh, that barely moved the needle. So I think the one that was up to 57 psi, I counted to like 40 to get it back down to 36 or 37. So,
well, I'm pretty sure I've had tire gauges before. I know that. I want to double check in my car to make sure I have it in my car, because it's one of those things I always like. Obviously, I don't use it often, and I'll see it around until I need it, and then I have no idea where it's at. But your tire thing reminded me of something else that happened. I think it was pretty sure it was this week. I went on Monday or Tuesday, I can't remember. I get home from work, I get home from work, but it's like kind of a little bit early. It's like 2:30. So I have a little bit more work to do at the house, just working from home. But I see Nolan's car is in the driveway or in the parking lot. And normally he should be gone then,
right.
For his babysitting. He normally leaves, I want to say like 2:15, 2:20, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit earlier. And so I'm like, man, I hope he didn't fall asleep or something. So like I run inside real quick and I come upstairs and he's not in the house, look back downstairs, car. I'm like, I didn't hallucinate. Car is there. Okay. Car's there. Then I just text him and I said, where are you at? And maybe he didn't have to babysit that day. He said, I'm at work. I'm like, did you walk? He's like, yeah. I go, what's wrong with your car? He's like, oh, it's just not starting. Or it just, I forgot how he said it, just decided not to work or something like that.
Great.
Okay. So I was going to look at it when, now, or, that time, but I didn't have the keys with it. Keys were with him. So anyway, I waited for him to get home, like talked to him about it. And I said, was it just not starting? Did it start and stop and everything? And he said it was working. Like he was able to take it to school, take it back home. And then he was inside for a little bit, getting ready to go to his babysitting job. Try to start it. It wouldn't start. And I'm like, was there anything? Was there like, I was like, was tried to start? And he's like, yeah, try it. So when I tried it, it was absolutely nothing. I mean, there wasn't a sound from it.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, let's try jumping it. I have jumper cables. It's really the only thing I know about cars. And then so hooked it to my car, let my car run for like 30 seconds, try it, still absolutely nothing. And I'm like, okay, we're going to let this run for like 5 minutes, like just charging for 5 minutes, see if we get anything. And so that worked. And of course I went on Facebook because I'm curious, what it could be and stuff like that. People are giving me, tips of what it could be and stuff. A lot of people saying battery and everything. So battery charge. And I told Nolan, I said, well, I'm going to go to the gym. You let this run for like 30 minutes at least. Just keep it running, and then take it up to O'Reilly's and they'll test the battery, And we looked it up because I'm like, I hope you don't have to take the battery out from their test. You don't have to. And I said, if they say it's the battery, buy a new one. They're kind of expensive, but he has more money than I do. And I know it's true. It's sad but true. Go ahead and buy a new one. And then so like I left or whatever, and then I texted him when it was probably about 45 minutes later, and I said, what did they say? And he just said the battery's fine. And I'm like,
alternator.
I see this thing. I asked him. I said, did they just check the battery or did they check everything? Because they can check alternator as well. And he said just battery, but I'm not sure about that. Because I assume this is how they test it is with a multimeter, and they have you, they check the battery, they have you start the car, and they can see, like they could, if it was me, if somebody comes in and says, let me know if my battery's bad, and as I'm checking the battery and I have them start the car, and I see, I don't know, the voltage, I guess it's called, I honestly don't know, but I know whatever it is, it has to go between 14.2 and 14.7. If it doesn't go between that, I would assume they would go, hey, your battery's fine, but your alternator's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they didn't say that. I used to have a multimeter around here somewhere. I had it for years, and I cannot find it at all. I might have him go back up, though, and just check to see if maybe it was one of those things that would just drain completely, like he left a light on or something. I don't know. Or maybe it is the alternator. Hopefully not, because that's really expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that happened, and it's knock on wood, it's been okay so far. But yeah, probably maybe tomorrow or something. What is he doing? I don't think he has any plans for. We can run back up to O'Reilly's and be like, hey, can you see if it's the alternator's working? Or if I had a multimeter, I could do it myself.
I have one more anecdote for us while we're talking about children we can't find, can't explain why we can't see them when they should.
Okay.
So it's my responsibility to get Garrett to school in the morning. And one day this week, I can't remember, I'll say Wednesday maybe, I help my wife get the twins out, locked and loaded, and on the way, and then I go upstairs and start prodding him and say, all right, time to get up. If you want breakfast, got to get up. And I did this for a while. And then I stepped to the other room to put some laundry away. And I come back and he's not in his room. I said, okay, well, he's downstairs, gonna get going, go to the bathroom, eat some breakfast, yada, yada. Come downstairs, say his name. He's not on the couches. He's not in my chair. Start looking behind doors. Like, what the?
Yeah.
So I'm like, Garrett? No answer. And I go back upstairs. He's not in his room. Like, I'm looking behind doors. He's not in the bathroom. I looked in the pantry just in case, like, maybe he didn't hear me because he was in getting breakfast.
Right.
Like, did he walk right past me in my room and like hide behind the door in my bathroom? Like, the kid was a ghost. Like, and I almost texted my wife, said, like, our son just disappeared. Like, didn't walk out the door, just vanished. Blipped, if you want to use nerd parlance. So I finally come downstairs. I'm like, Garrett, where the hell are you? And he pokes his head up from the far side of the couch, like he was on the floor hiding. I was like, dude. I was like, you damn it. I didn't say damn it, but you almost gave me a heart attack. Like, I thought you disappeared. He's like, sorry. I was like,
where was he? Where was he?
He was hiding on the far side of the couch, like on the ground. Oh. like if I would have walked over there, yes, I would have seen him, but I didn't. I was like, dude, we ain't got time for these games in the morning. Like, you got to move.
Did he make it to school on time?
Yeah. He's not been late.
Sounds like you do have time for those games in the morning.
Shut up. Don't tell him that. Oh man. So we didn't have a show last week. Did you acquire? Excuse me. Have you acquired any new comics, or have you read anything in the last couple of weeks?
I have not acquired anything new, and I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to go to the comic book shop because Christmas is approaching, and that's expensive. But
Christmas or comic books?
Both, unfortunately. I did finish reading Deceased. Or at least Deceased. I finished reading the first part of it, and I really enjoyed it. But again, whenever I can get back down to the comic book shop, I'm gonna have to get the next part of this, which I looked it up. I don't know what it's called. I forget. It's like Dawn of Deceased or Deceased continues. Deceased returns. Not sure.
From what I see, it's Deceased 2? Deceased Dark Knights of Steel?
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. Regardless,
Sorry.
and then the two that I'm working on right now is I'm reading Once in Future, Volume 3. And I'm actually almost done with this. I think this collects Once in Future 13 through 18, and I think I'm on 17.
Nice.
And then I'm also, speaking of Volume 3s, Rough Riders Volume 3. And I believe this is yes, it is the last one, because it says on the back, Rough Riders Volume 3 contains the final 4 issues of the series. And you know what? I'm really enjoying, and I enjoyed Rough Riders, but I'm glad it's only 3 volumes.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a nice, not even really short, because but it's a nice story. Contained story. Yes.
Were you able to find in there the anthem?
In Rough Riders?
Yes, the Rough Riders anthem.
No.
You're welcome.
Oh, I wish there was in there.
Could you imagine Teddy Roosevelt dropping beats?
Yes. Well, that's Teddy Roosevelt. Yes, I could.
True. He is a Teddy of a different. I don't know how to finish that one. So I read a little bit more. And this is gonna look crazier than it actually is. But I read a little bit more of Astro City.
Okay.
And as you can see here, my light somewhere. So that I can read.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
I like to do that like on Saturday mornings, instead of opening up the blinds right away when the twins are awake at 6:30. I'm not that. I don't want all that light, but I want to read. I want to sip some coffee, so I'll do that. So made some progress there. I did make a trip last week to Twilight Comics, Swansea, Illinois, and picked up a few of my ongoing series for my pull folder. So we have Superman, Dawn of DC Superman. This is oversized number 850 anniversary issue.
Ooh, so fancy.
Pretty nice there. A good, enjoyable story. Let's see here. And then the ones that I have not, I've read that one. The ones that I have not read yet, we have The Immortal Thor, issue 3.
Okay.
I don't really know how to hold this up in a way that doesn't create a glare, so my apologies.
Yeah, you're fine.
Looks like Thor's got some unfinished business to do in this one. We have number 14 of Grimm.
Okay. I'm good enough. 14 is out.
It is. It is indeed. Whoa, come back here.
I haven't even read 13 yet, but
gasp.
I have it here. I just haven't read it yet.
I didn't realize this was one I probably don't necessarily need, but apparently I grabbed it accidentally because I wasn't paying attention. This is Gargoyles, but this is the Halloween special.
Well, of course you need it. It's Gargoyles and it's Halloween.
Okay.
Huh.
And then, but that's a one for teens.
Oh.
And then we have just the regular ongoing Gargoyles is number 10. So nice. Have not read any of that lot besides the Superman. And then I've got other trade paperbacks that I've, been stockpiling that I need to read. And at the same time, I keep having the longing to find my copy of Kingdom Come and reread that.
Yeah, and I was saying, and I know it's not here. I've looked. The big ones I have here from you are like Peace and Liberty, and then Superman something or other.
Oh, okay.
No Kingdom Come. Yeah.
I know Superman something or other.
Yeah,
that's an underrated title.
It is. All right.
Well,
you got some reading to do.
I do. Among the, I don't know when, but someday. All right. So we've got some, I say, topics that were thrown up today haphazardly, just because it'd been probably about 2 weeks since we put anything on the Facebook page. And we apologize for that somewhat. So anyway, the first thing you shared this with me yesterday, and that is the trailer for a movie that's coming out this coming Memorial Day, and it's The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I had no idea, or I guess I had an idea, but I had forgotten that they were doing another Planet of the Apes. And I guess this one's not with Caesar; it's with his son Cornelius.
Is it just me, or does this look like a modern remake of the OG, like Charlton Heston Planet of the Apes?
And maybe that's what they're going for.
Maybe. I mean, where humans are, I don't want to say necessarily enslaved, but are the lower species.
And they're pretty much enslaved too.
Well, yeah, that too. But I don't want to say that.
That's it's part of the movie.
So I don't know. I'm not sure. I liked the first Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me personally, it was an issue of diminishing returns.
I think I would agree with that. And I think I bought all three of them. I know I had was the first one's Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
I thought the first one was just Planet of the Apes, was it not?
No, it's something of the Planet of the Apes. There's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes. War of the Planet of the Apes, I think, was the third one. And it's either Dawn or Rise is the first one.
Dawn was 2014.
Okay.
Rise was 2011. So that's probably, Rise, and then War was 2017. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's Rise, Dawn, War.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought Rise was pretty good. I liked the story behind it. And then I know I had that on DVD or Blu-ray. I think honestly DVD I had it on, and I watched it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dawn, I want to say I have it. Either I bought it on Vudu or I bought it on YouTube. And then maybe the same with War, or maybe War I don't have. But yeah, they were kind of diminishing returns. I don't know. Maybe this will be fine. You know, it's honestly we don't know much. It really is kind of a teaser trailer,
right?
And it doesn't come out till Memorial Day, so we got plenty of time to figure it out.
It's one of those. I think back in the day, I probably rented Rise, and then like if the other one was on a streaming service and I didn't have anything else to watch, I probably watched it. But
yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I just don't think now in 2023 and probably going forward, like it's probably not something, and I feel bad saying this. It's not something I'd pay extra money for.
Right. You know? Yeah.
Like if it's on, again, if I have the itch and I need to scratch and I can do it on Netflix or Peacock or Paramount or whatever, then sure, I'll put it on. But, I don't know. Here's the thing. I know it's mostly universally panned. I don't hate the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes from like 2001.
To be fair, I don't think I've seen that since 2001. I think for sure Rise and Dawn are better than it, but hate is, I guess, a strong word for it. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch that one for sure.
Okay. Well, that was, I think, supposed to be more of a natural continuation of the previous movies. So
yes.
All right. So and here's the thing. I'm not tickled with the name Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Like, just call it Kingdom of the Apes. Couldn't you just do that?
Well, I mean, that's kind of the theme they were going with, all Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
But that one makes sense.
Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. War of the Planet of the Apes.
But like Kingdom is also is like a location. It's not a verb like rise, like it's the rise of.
It could have also been Dawn of the Apes, Rise of the Apes, and War of the Apes.
I'd be all right with that too.
Yeah, well,
but they're just trying to cash in. They're just trying to cash in with name recognition, and that's not right. It's not fair. I'm not going to have it. So, but again, nobody cares about my opinion. So let's move on.
It's already made, so
they can't change. I mean, they could.
Too many posters have been made.
Right. And then this was kind of a surprise. but we got a little trailer for the next Marvel Disney Plus series, which make sure that you've got your profile set to mature because Echo looks like bloody fun.
Oh my God, it looks so good. First of all, again, maybe I'm just getting too old and I don't remember when these things are coming out. No clue that it was coming out in January. What I would have said sometime in 2025. Had no idea.
Right.
And once I saw this trailer, like granted, it's just a teaser trailer. So I'm still, when I watch it, I'm still going to have my expectations lowered a little bit. I don't want to go in like I did with WandaVision. I think it's going to be amazing, and it turns out to be WandaVision.
Hold on, sir. I feel like you make that false comparison every time just to get a rise out of me, because WandaVision was brilliant.
It was something, all right.
It was brilliant.
No, it's definitely not brilliant.
Say it, or we can't continue with the show.
That's on you. I'll just go to the gym.
All right. So by Mike's absence, he says WandaVision was brilliant.
No. So I here's the thing with this trailer. I'm actually kind of even more pumped for Daredevil, even though they're reshooting Daredevil. But I like the fact that I'm assuming, looked at Echo, saw how Echo was playing and stuff like that, and said, like, if Echo's at this certain level, we want Daredevil to be even bigger.
Right.
They probably didn't actually say that, but I'm going to say they did.
And probably
yes, because you're right. It's bloody. You have Kingpin, who, some people have mentioned he was more of a watered down version in Hawkeye, and he's not anymore. Like, he's back to being brutal. And one thing I like about this, although I'm gonna like it the day that it happens, and then maybe I'll just rewatch it. But all 10 episodes are coming out at once. I think it's 10. Yeah, they're all episodes at once. I don't know if they said the number, but all at once. Man, yes. So
that's not you. That's not a Marvel thing.
No, normally does not happen. And so, I think they're just trying. They're trying stuff. See what works.
Well, it was the trailer did look really good.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, we start talking about like the Daredevils and the Deadpools and the Echoes and things like that. Do you think that those should be more like Hulu exclusive rather than putting them on Disney Plus? Because I think when most people think Disney, like, oh, family fun and anything, you put on anything and the kids can watch it.
Yeah, that's why you do. On Disney Plus, it has the like you talked about, the maturity settings on there. So if you have it marked for kids, it won't even show up for them.
Mm-hmm. We don't have that many profiles.
Well, I'm also assuming you're not just throwing the remote at the kids and be like, all right, dad's gonna take a nap. You kids watch whatever you want.
What? It actually just happened today where I had paused something, and then Rob had gone to the remote and unpaused it.
He wanted to watch it. Understandable.
And it was. I mean, it was something that was obviously age appropriate. But I said, "Hey, pause that for whatever." I can't remember what it was. Snake Oil. I don't know. We started watching Snake Oil on Hulu. That was kind of fun with David Spade hosting. But I said, "Hey, pause that." So he paused it back.
So smart.
He's a smart one. A little too smart sometimes. So yeah, you can look for Echo to hit Disney Plus in just over 2 months on January 10th, which you reminded me that today, November 3rd, as we were recording this, is the season 1 finale for Gen V. And at the same time, the first episode of Invincible season 2 dropped on Amazon Prime. Or Prime.
And I'm assuming you haven't seen either, right?
I've not yet. No.
Yeah.
Not yet. Eventually. Probably not today. I'm also 2 weeks behind on Loki, so don't.
Okay. I've seen this. I won't say anything about it, but I've seen this episode of Loki, and I saw the season finale of Gen V. I have not started watching Invincible though. Season 2.
Well, let's take a quick step and talk about Marvel because I cannot talk. I got this cough and I'm a little shorter of breath than usual because of it. So I apologize to everybody. Variety.com had an article earlier this week titled Crisis at Marvel, Jonathan Majors backup plans, the Marvels reshoots, reviving original Avengers, and more issues revealed. And I don't want to necessarily get into every aspect of this. The complete article is available for everybody. You can check out Nerds United on Facebook and click the link and read it for yourself. But the Marvels reshoots, but I think more importantly, the topic or the idea of reviving some of those original Avengers, meaning Tony Stark, Captain America, Black Widow. Obviously, I mean, we can't do a whole lot. They could, and they probably should, reboot or recast Black Panther, but they've kind of it seems like they've made their mind up about that. What are your thoughts? Like, if they're even contemplating or giving breath to the notion of bringing back Captain America, Iron Man, etc., that's got to be the ultimate panic button, right?
Not necessarily. And here's the thing. I don't know if there actually are, because I tried reading this article, and it was the most long, drawn out article. I don't know who. I mean, I can obviously look and see who wrote it. But I don't know what that source is. I don't.
Rafa Alvarez.
It made it seem like he was in board meetings, and just everyone's coming up to him and talking about how horrible Marvel's doing and stuff like that, and how they're all panicking and stuff like that. I don't know where he's getting this information from. So I think that it's just speculation.
Okay.
That it's and by the way, this has been talked about since Tony Stark left, since Robert Downey Jr. left, since Chris Evans left. How are we going to replace them? Go back even further, and it's Marvel, but and he's back. But when Hugh Jackman left, and like I said, he's back. But when he left, people were talking about how are people going to replace Wolverine? It's speculation right now. I don't think they are going to. I don't think they are going to replace him for probably a good 10 years at least. And I mean, and when I say that, meaning Iron Man, Captain America, the core team. I guess Thor's still on as of right now, maybe.
True.
Black Widow. Actually, Black Widow, I could see them replacing Black Widow. I mean, technically they have a Black Widow, but they don't have Natasha Romanoff. I could see them getting a new Natasha Romanoff within 5 years, but with Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., I want to say it's going to be 10 years. That's how iconic they were. And I wouldn't want them to do it for another 10 years, or wouldn't want to get another actor in there for 10 years, simply because I would feel bad for that actor. Because if you're going to even if it's 10 years, you're still going to be compared to the original actors. But there's there's enough time that went by where it lessens the blow, I guess. But again, I think it's just speculation. I don't think they're wanting to it's a big thing. They're going to be replacing the actors and everything. No, I think they might talk to Robert Downey Jr. and be like, "Hey, do you want to make a cameo?" And he's going to go, "Yeah." Do you have $100 million? No. Okay. Chris Evans, do you want to make a cameo? Do you have $80 million? No. Okay. Or they'll say yes, and they'll make a quick cameo. Who knows?
Sure.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's just speculation. They ain't gonna do that. They have too many characters already to that they're putting forward. But I was actually just reading a little bit of an article talking about how the Blade movie is kind of might be in trouble. So they still got stuff to work on.
Mm-hmm. And this is where I admit my culpability in this whole thing, because I didn't read the article.
Cool. I know. Oh, I knew you didn't.
But I was like, but I had heard about it, and so I wanted to see if there was an actual report out there. But it's not a report. It's, for lack of a better term, like dirt sheet stuff.
Yeah,
it's rumors. Exactly. It's sources. Mm-hmm. Speaking on the condition of anonymity.
Yeah,
there's no factual basis to that. It's tabloid nonsense.
like I said, I tried to read the article, and it was just like, oh my god. I didn't even get to I didn't even get to the part of the article that talked about the trying to hire or recast the core Avengers. The parts that I read, it was talking about the trouble that Jonathan Majors might be in and what they're going to do with him,
right?
And how if he does get in trouble, that they can't possibly do anything. It's too late. He's already too much of a pivotal part. This one made me kind of laugh to myself. There's too much of a pivotal part of the MCU already. I'm like, look, he's a great actor, amazing. I hope that he didn't do what he was accused of. Mm-hmm. But if he did, you know how easy it would be to recast, especially in a world in the MCU where we already said that there's variants, and we already established with Spider-Man No Way Home that your variants don't have to look exactly like you. So you can recast them with somebody else, and bam. You can have one scene where he comes from another dimension, and this is the real King the Conqueror. Because so far we haven't seen really much of a threat at all from Kang. Now, according to this article,
did you watch Quantumania?
Yeah, he wasn't a threat. Didn't they Ant-Man defeated him. Ant-Man defeated him. No, not just
Ant-Man. Ant-Man and Wasp.
Actually, Wasp, I don't even think she did much. But yeah, sure. Ant-Man and Wasp. Yeah, exactly.
And it was all the other misfits from the quantum realm.
The ants dragged him away. Yeah, I was like, so he hasn't been a big threat yet. Like I was going to say, in the article, it did talk about how so-and-so has already seen the season finale of Loki season 2, and that's going to show him that the real King or whatever. I forgot how exactly they worded it, but it implied that that's going to be, that's going to kind of show the true King or whatever. Again, you can recast, not hard to recast. Again, I hope he didn't do what he's accused of doing, and we can keep him. But if not, recast. Done. Moving on.
Easy to do. All right. So lastly, before we get into, we got some other topics and other things to discuss. I am so confused by this Disney Snow White live action reboot thing.
Oh man. If you talk about
Go. You first.
No. Oh no. Go ahead.
Well, we got what looked like a very legitimate production still a few months ago of Snow White and the mystical figures,
7 magical creatures,
walking in a meadow, in the grass, and everybody, which drew a lot of ire from certain people for a lot of reasons. They're the people who think that maybe Snow White herself is miscast because in the original Grimm's version and in the Disney cartoon, it's skin as white as snow, and that's why she's called Snow White. And Rachel Zegler is Hispanic American, Latin American, however. But the magical, mystical fantasy creature thing really threw people off. And then Variety reported Disney released an image, I guess their first official image of Snow White, and I guess it's the 7 dwarves. They're calling them the 7 dwarves in the article. And the movie has been pushed back an entire year, all the way to the end of March 2025. So this might be like one of those Sonic the Hedgehog. We released something, nobody liked it. We're going back to the drawing board to provide a more faithful adaptation.
They got to keep going then. This one, I'm sorry, this is gonna bomb, and it was gonna bomb.
Oh yeah,
regardless. Gosh, I don't even know where to start with this. Look, maybe they had the best intentions when they started. They said, you know what, dwarves, that's it's something, Snow and the Seven Dwarfs. Maybe you don't want little people working for you. That's not good or whatever. I don't know what their thought process was. So we're gonna have Snow White and the seven magical creatures, and yes, just like you said, they had a photo that's still out, and it was different sized people, from little to really tall, I think.
And I'll put this as diplomatically as possible. Those seven magical creatures, magical people, whatever, looked nothing like the seven dwarves of old.
And here's the thing: and you're correct. I don't even know if they were supposed to be like that. I think they just went, well, we'll have Snow White, and then we'll have seven. I don't know. We can't have dwarves. I don't know. Just put random people in there. You know. Like I'm curious about like during like an original script if they were going to call them like happy, dopey, sneezy, if they were going to go that way. But regardless, so then there was backlash about that, and there were people from the the little people community saying like, hey, why don't you cast? It's fine to have say the seven dwarves. It can't just there's tons of little people that want to be actors. By the way, I think little people is the term that they prefer.
Sure.
And
no, I don't want to. I mean, I don't know, but stand-up comedian Brad Williams.
Yes.
Who is himself diminutive, small.
A little person.
Yeah. But I think he said, I think it was him who said like, he's like, we don't want to be called little people. Like we're dwarves. But again, he doesn't speak for everybody, just like on the other side of things. Oh crap!
Not Wee Man. There was a wrestler. I only know him by his wrestling name, Hornswoggle.
Dylan something. But I was also thinking of the guy who played Lannister on Game of Thrones, like the most famous of all.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Yes. Like they're just two very, very opposite approaches to little people in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to play those, don't want to, and you can respect that, but you can also say, hey, these are roles for us. I mean, like,
yeah, exactly.
So it's when people are upset that the Little Mermaid's not, Caucasian enough,
right,
or whatever, then I feel like there is an argument, and look, this maybe not the best analogy, but there's an argument for like, hey, you're taking jobs from people who could do this, fill these roles, and instead they're going to be CGI based on the image that Disney released.
Well, I think what happened, and it could be wrong, I'm guessing that they made the movie or they're filming the movie or they already filmed the movie and then they just overlaid. That's my guess, is they overlaid the CGI characters somehow over the actual actors. Because I know, maybe not. Maybe they did the photo still with the actors and they never did anything with them, or maybe they did and they scrapped it all and they just put CGI. But the CGI is horrible, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
There's
nothing realistic about it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think that's why it's good. Another reason why it's going to bomb. With all the I think her name's, isn't it Rachel Zegler?
Rachel
Zegler. With all the controversy with her, and then the controversy with the dwarves, I think even that wouldn't have made it, and that only made it bomb a little bit. Because I look, the people that are like, hey, she's Hispanic, so she shouldn't be Snow White. They were never going to see that movie anyway,
right?
It is just am I wrong?
And then the one other thing, I don't know how long it's been since you watched the 1938 Snow White movie.
I watch it every day, actually.
Oh, so but like the other big controversy is that dude just walks up on unconscious girl in the woods and kisses her without her consent. But now I haven't watched it recently, but the last time I watched it, which is within the last calendar year. They meet while she's still in the castle, like before she's exiled and ran out of the castle. Like they meet briefly, and like again, it's 1938 animation, but you can tell she was interested.
Well, you know what they say: once you meet a girl, you can kiss her, no matter if she's sleeping or not.
I think on that note,
Yeah.
which is not, I don't know how we're going to go from there to there, but I don't remember if I sent you the list. But are you ready for this list?
Oh yeah, no, you didn't send me the list. Okay,
So this list went viral within the last week or two, and it's 28 activities or places that some random individual on Facebook said, guys, these are not acceptable first date ideas.
Okay, I thought this was something else. I haven't heard any of these.
Excellent. I'm so excited.
Okay.
I'm going to read all 28. It's not going to take too terribly long.
Okay.
I'm going to read them 1 through 28 in the order that she listed them.
Okay.
So the number one place you should not take a woman on a first date is the Cheesecake Factory. I've been.
I think isn't Cheesecake Factory kind of expensive? I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. I've been married almost 15 years. I've never been to the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay.
Like my last first date was back in 2008. I never been to the Cheesecake Factory.
All right. Well, I mean, you can take your wife to the Cheesecake Factory. It doesn't say don't take your wife there.
Right. We'll get there sometime. Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden.
I think they're just naming great restaurants.
Just it gets better / worse.
Okay.
Olive Garden, the movies, Your House, any fast food chain, Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Red Lobster. Look, I'm telling you, if I were a single man, I was taking my first date to Red Lobster. She better be thanking me.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a big Red Lobster guy, but the Red Lobster, like you can get lobster tail, and that's expensive. Anyway, a buffet, IHOP, Denny's, the gym. Sorry, Mike. Church. Mike. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take a date to the gym any more than I take her to church. So I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates. I'm gonna tell you what. Coffee and ice cream; those are about as harmless as it gets.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm fine with those.
Family functions, I get. Like, yes. I wouldn't take.
That'd be weird.
Now, if they were a longtime friend, you're like, hey, you wanna go with this thing with? Yeah, I don't know, but
you're right. Yes.
Movie nights, which are like Netflix and chill, I guess, or it just says Netflix, Hulu, etc. Somewhere that requires a long drive. Bowling, nightclubs, hookah bar, which I wouldn't take anybody to anyway. A bar just for drinks. Waffle House, and sports events. So upon reading this list of 28 places, I'm like, there's nothing left.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, Mike, how do you do it?
I don't. I'm too poor, and I'm like this for dates.
I mean,
but
for those of you who are just taking in the audio version of the show, what he did is he took his shirt off and revealed his rippling 6-pack abs.
Right.
He's like, all this, but the ladies can't handle it.
That's the exact opposite. I don't honestly know, because I would think I can't even remember last time I went on a date.
Neither can
I honestly can't. I really can't. But I would think some of those would be like, coffee, that seems fine. Ice cream, that seems fine. Just coming over to my house now.
It said ice cream. It didn't say froyo.
That's true. That's true. Maybe that's the loophole. I don't know. This is look.
I feel like this is probably the same type of person who, like, if you ever come across those videos, like the reels or on TikTok, something like that, it's like, what do you think a man needs to make for you to date him? And like the really obnoxious was like 500,000, $1 million. If he's not making 500K, I'm not going.
I've seen ones where, and I wish I had what app or a calculator that they had, but they'll be like, okay, what's the average height for a guy learning? They'll be like, oh, 6 foot. Give me an age range, and they'll be like, 25 to 27, and give me a salary, and they'll be like, oh, 250,000. I guess.
Those
and I'm
people
like,
don't
okay,
exist.
there's only like 0.000000003% of the population that fits that category.
And let me tell you, either they're already paired off
Mhm.
or they're not interested in you.
Right, exactly. No, I also thought you were going to mention the ones like I've seen reels before where a guy goes up to a girl and they'll be like, "Hey, what's your ick? Like, what's the thing you don't like?"
Yeah.
And she'll be like, "Oh, when a guy cooks for himself." And then they put it up on like this, and it's honestly like 50 different ones where it's like, guy cooks for himself, a guy who wears sneakers, a guy who combs his hair, a guy who's happy. Like they just have a list of them that you can't do.
Because they want to be the source of all happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's nuts.
Yeah. You should do with that list. You should take your wife to do all 28 with your wife because it's not a first date, so you can do them all.
Let's see. Of course, I just deleted it because I was like, I don't need this anymore. All right, so let's see. We've been to Applebee's, Chili's, Chipotle, Olive Garden, the movies, Our House, fast food, Buffalo Wild Wings, Red Lobster, various buffets. We've done IHOP, but it's been a long time. We've done Denny's. We've not been to the gym at the same time.
Well, okay.
Both been to the gym. Church. I've taken her to Starbucks, but I don't usually get anything. Coffee dates, not really. Ice cream dates, of course. Family functions every day. Movie night. Like, look, it says movie night, but it says Netflix, Hulu, etc. We pay for cable, but we use it for Nebraska football games. So every night is a streaming service night around our house.
Yes.
Somewhere that requires a long drive. We've done that numerous times. We've done bowling. We've done bars. I don't know if I'd consider them nightclubs. We haven't done hookah bars.
You have done a hookah bar?
No, God, no.
Okay, I was going to say, wow.
We've done sporting events, and on more than one occasion, I'm proud to say Waffle House. So we've actually knocked off most of this list.
Okay, all right. Well.
The gym, again, not at the same time. And hookah bar is not really something that we would be into.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to do a gym date now.
All right. I got to get a gym membership then.
No,
Can I go to the gym as a guest? Like just like pull up a picnic basket and a blanket, just put it down in front of the treadmill. It's like, we're here for a date, guys.
You should, yes. Yes.
Who wants some gelato?
This is our date.
Oh. Well, Mike, a couple of weeks ago, you had a really awesome idea for a topic, and then we missed a week. So we're gonna do this topic right now, and I'm gonna let you tee it up because it was chef's kiss.
Yes. I just had the idea and I said, what we got to do is we have to pick a must-see movie from each decade, starting from 00, or 00 AD or 00, and then all the way. No.
I can't wait to you know what, the IMDb was a little thin on movies that were released in the 1260s.
That's true, but that's it makes it easier for must-see movies.
That's right.
No, so that's what it is. From the 80s to 2020s, each decade we both have to pick a must-see movie. Now, the must-see movie that we are not saying this is the best movie. I'll be honest with you, not even maybe my favorite movie of the decade, although I like all these movies from the decade. But these are just like I said, must-see. Like if I want people that I'm with to sit down and watch these movies. Maybe it shows a little bit about who I am. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But we're going to start with the 80s.
We are. And you know what? I changed my answer before we started recording. Yep, because I was going to go with 1985. Well, first I was like, think about this though. Empire, Return of the Jedi are both 80s movies.
Yes. Tons of great 80s movies.
Most of Indiana Jones, I really thought about like Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. The one that I initially wrote down was Rocky IV.
Okay.
but I changed it because I wanted something that was more standalone, something that you could just watch. It wasn't part of a series.
Yeah.
And so I stayed in 1985 and I went with The Goonies.
Ooh, very good. Very nice. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm also in 1985.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know where you're going. I think.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's the thing is, yes, it is technically now it is a series, but it started off as a one-off.
Yeah.
They made that movie, and I think it's just so classic. It's got the action, it's got comedy, it's got sci-fi, it's got romance. Granted, it's sometimes creepy romance, but it's got romance in there. It's timeless.
What's the creepy romance?
Do you not remember the car scene with the mom hitting on her son?
She had no idea that was her son.
It doesn't matter. It's still creepy. We don't do those kind of things in Illinois. This ain't Alabama.
She didn't know it was her.
It's still creepy. But still good movie. That's like I said, that's a must-see movie. Yes, and I would agree that Goonies should also be a must-see movie. And it kind of reminds me that it's been a minute since I've seen Goonies, and by a minute I mean probably 20 years.
And I'll tell you what, I just found this out, and I don't know the validity to it, but according to IMDb, Goonies 2 is coming like 2026 or 27.
Well, all right.
Like Sean Astin's on there, Corey Feldman. You'd imagine that, forgive me, I can't remember his name. I know he's just come back in a real return.
The guy who played Thanos?
No, not Brolin.
Oh.
Was it Data?
Oh, yes.
And he's coming back. Or I mean, he could. I don't know if he could come back because he's again back in prime position. So, anyway, that's my 80s one, Goonies. So
okay, all right.
How about your 90s movie? Because I don't think we're anywhere near aligned on this one.
I don't think I will be shocked if we are. So I was gonna try to do this with each one of them, but the 80s one I think you would have guessed. I was gonna try to guess the movie by the cast.
Okay.
And I only have 3, and obviously I'm not gonna name the main actors in it. Which, by the way, for 85 for Back to the Future, it would have been Tom Wilson, Leah Thompson, and Christopher Lloyd. And those are the main actors, but everybody else, it's like people you wouldn't know at all.
Right.
So anyway, in my 90s, it is Dan Aykroyd, Bo Derek, Brian Dennehy.
Tommy Boy.
Ooh, very good. Yes.
What year was that?
1995's Tommy Boy.
Mine is also from 1995.
Okay, we have the good years.
I don't have the cast pulled up, so I can't play that particular game. But when I think of this movie, I think of the soundtrack. I think of some of that teenage like angst that was starting to really bubble to the surface at the time. So my must-see movie from the 90s is 1995's Empire Records.
Oh, okay. Not bad. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, gasp.
But that's okay. Maybe I didn't see
very young Liv Tyler's in the movie.
Okay.
It's on a streaming service.
I believe it.
It's on YouTube for free according to Google.
Okay. I'm writing it down so I can I want something in a
young Renee Zellweger.
Okay.
Liv Tyler, I mentioned. Who else? Rory Cochrane. Other people. Ethan Embry, who was also in, I think later was in Can't Hardly Wait. For whatever reason, man, I just enjoy the movie quite a bit. It's so 90s. Like they talk Guar has a small bit in the movie, if you're familiar with Guar.
Oh yes.
So anyway, that's my 90s movie.
All right, what's your odds?
This one is, I honestly think if we were going to have one that was the same, it would be this movie. From 2008.
Nope.
Okay, interesting. Iron Man.
Good. I mean, Iron Man is what started me on the MCU journey.
All of us,
You know, and can't say enough. Maybe this is a spoiler. I only have one superhero movie on my list. Okay. Yeah. Look, Iron Man is wonderful. I would agree. Like if you go, what's must see from MCU, that's gonna be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the one. Like I think if people watch Iron Man and they go, yeah, I like this, then I'm gonna start showing them other stuff. You know, that's not mine. No, mine came out a year later. And mine was, and I think we've talked about this. Mine was a movie that I saw without seeing a trailer for, without seeing a promo for it. Me and a friend were at a bar. My friend Kyle, we were at a bar together. We had maybe one or two drinks. He started talking about it, and then he said, "Let's go see it right now." Okay, and that is, do you know?
The Hangover.
Yes, The Hangover.
Really?
Absolutely, yes.
Because I was in the same. All I know is I went and saw that movie in theaters. By my, I can't remember exactly when it came out. Like what part of 2009.
Right.
So she was either my fiance or my wife, but the same one. And I just went there. I didn't go kicking and screaming, but I was like, this is gonna be stupid. I don't want to watch this because I had it wasn't in the zeitgeist. Nobody really knew anything about it. And then I sat there and I laughed my ass off.
Yes.
And she's like, see. Gave me that like I told you so kind of look. I was like, okay, you win. Sorry. And
I'll say, and you know, whenever it came out on DVD and Blu-ray, that's another one I had for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I still have it.
Yeah, I think I still have it somewhere, hopefully. But that was one. I mean, if I said I probably watched it 50 times, I don't think I'm exaggerating because it was just in constant rotation at my house. Because granted, I couldn't afford Netflix. And I don't even know if there was Hulu at the time. But couldn't afford streaming services, and so it was just like the DVDs I had.
Right.
So and great commentary, by the way, on it as well. If you're people that like commentary,
I'm in the commentary.
I'm going to go on to the 2010s now.
All right.
And this is 2014.
Oh, 2015 on my side.
Okay. We're close. It's interesting that we're not so far. It's not like, oh, I got 1990 and I got 1998. You know. Right. So we're around the same time, but this is my superhero one, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's and again, I think we've always said this. It has the 3 H's that we thought of ourselves, and we didn't steal from anybody: heart, heroics, and humor. And hey, it's good.
4.
Yeah, it's the 4th one.
Funny. Well, parts of it do take place in Missouri, where there's probably some cattle eating some hay somewhere.
That's true. So. But yeah, this is the one I talked about, like having somebody watch Iron Man, and that's a good introduction to the MCU. This is also kind of a good introduction as well. Mm-hmm. Like it's very standalone. At least the first one is. You don't have to, even though it comes out in 2014, which is obviously 6 years after the MCU's already started. You don't have to know anything about the MCU. Yes, you just have to know, hey, these are some good guys and some bad guys.
My one from the 10s, 2015, I took the liberty of pulling up some members of the cast. Jessica Chastain, Sebastian Stan, Kristen Wiig.
Is it Morbius?
No. That's from the 2020s.
Jessica Chastain, Sebastian Stan, and who else?
Kristen Wiig.
Amazing Spider-Man? I guess. I don't know. What is it?
2015's The Martian, starring Matt Damon.
Another movie I've never seen.
Oh, that is, again, must see. It's really phenomenal. There's so much wicked science in that. Now, we'll preface it. There's so much like possibly science fiction in that. Spoiler alert. he grows potatoes on Mars,
Yeah.
but
He's a botanist.
he's a scientist. Scientists can do anything. More money in the sciences and less in the arts. That's what I say. I don't say that. People are going to be very mad. All right, now we get to our current decade.
Yes. And by the way, let me just say, I haven't seen The Martian yet, but I want to see it, and I've wanted to see it for a long time. I don't think it's. I think it's on Hulu. Is it on Hulu? Okay. All right. So yes, now we are in our decade.
Our decade. Our present.
The great 2020s, as everyone says.
Yeah,
everyone says nothing has been wrong in the 2020s so far. Life is blissful.
Everything is right. There are no problems, no arguments globally. Really, everyone's at peace.
People are going to call it known as the peaceful 2020s.
That's right. Not roaring. They're very quiet and dignified.
The dignified 2020s.
That's right.
As we call it. I did the 2010. I started out the 2010 one, so you got to start off the 2021.
Okay. I will go to 2021, and the movie that I'm selecting as my must-see thus far in the 2020s, Free Guy.
Oh, very good. I mean, that's yes. That Free Guy. I've seen Free Guy. I want to say honestly, probably at least 3 times.
Yeah, I'm above 5. I'm probably closer to 10.
Probably 5, yeah.
It's honestly a movie I could put in about every 2-3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
still great. Still holds up. I mean, it's still like it's decades old,
right?
But sometimes honestly, I shouldn't say it holds up. Sometimes like I'll watch a movie be great, and then when I go to watch it again, it's just since I know the stuff about it, it's like it's okay. But not with Free Guy.
Like I still pop when towards the end where he's fighting Dude Guy.
Yes.
And Dude Guy goes to punch and he pulls the Captain America shield out, and it cuts to Chris Evans. He's like, "What the shit?"
Yeah, absolutely.
That tickles me every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I would agree that is a must see. I was curious if you're going to do that one, or there is the other one that I was going to do. I'll name mine in a second here. I almost said Across the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
Because that is on Netflix now, and I just watched it again recently, and man, it holds. It's good still. Like
Across or Into?
What's the second one?
Across.
Yes.
So that is out there now.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Haha.
Yes.
That's not
the one I went to. That's not the one I went with. Although Free Guy and Across the Spider-Verse are both must see. The one I went with is one I know you have not seen yet. If you ever get a chance, I urge you to watch The Whale with Brendan Fraser.
I definitely want to. I definitely want to.
It is one that I don't want. Maybe it's a slight slow burn to it, but the acting on it with Brendan Fraser and Sadie Sink, who plays his daughter in it, she is. He's amazing of what he's doing. And so is she, and she makes you takes you through this roller coaster of emotions. I ended up actually the only way I watched it because I heard so many good things about it. I bought it on Vudu.
Oh, okay.
And I've only seen it once, but it's almost one. It's another one of those that after it ends, you just have to take a moment and be like, "Wow, that was okay." I mean, let me I always say this. Let me process that. And everything it takes place in one room, except for I guess maybe the very 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 end. Mm. That's not a spoiler. It takes place in one room, one tiny room. I can't say enough of good things about it. It's and granted, again, I've only seen it once, and I'm almost afraid to watch it again, even though I put it on my must see list. But it is a must see for at least one time.
I'll have to definitely look at a very quick Google search said that it was on Hulu. When I got into my Hulu app, it said watch with a Showtime ad on, which I don't have.
Yeah.
So I might have to at least maybe rent it on Vudu or Prime or something like that.
There you go.
Just to get it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's here's the thing. If I had to pick honest my favorite movie of a particular decade, very few movies, in my opinion, stand up to Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah.
Largely because that is it's the climax of 22 chapters of a story. But
yes,
for the reason that I was avoiding like the Rocky Fours and things like that is if someone was dropped in off of, onto this planet from the blue and like, I can't show them that movie.
Yes.
There's too much that they haven't seen, but I can show them Free Guy, or I can show them The Martian if they dropped in from Mars and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. There's plenty of water underground.
Right. Yeah. I kind of think the same thing. And that's, I will agree with you. That's why I didn't put Avengers Endgame on as well, because just like you said, there's so much backstory.
Right.
It would be like if somebody has never seen an MC movie and you show them Endgame, they might think it's okay, but they're not going to get like the real story.
They're not going to have the heart behind it.
Yeah. And same as yours, all of mine, every single one of mine, you can watch, just watch. You don't even have to know anything about other stories. And I would say the same for yours too.
That's why I went with Iron Man, because Iron Man is the first chapter.
Yes.
Like if I caught them on that, then I could, reel them in, go Captain America, Winter Soldier, or I'm sorry, First Avenger.
Right.
Which,
yes.
As good as Winter Soldier is, I still think First Avenger's better. I see that you're disagreeing. That's fine. But one of my favorite episodes, it's a few years back there, because I think we were doing this. We might have done this one live. I can't remember. But our favorite MCU moments, and little puny Steve Rogers diving on that grenade that he doesn't know is a dummy grenade. That is still, I think, a top 5 MCU moment.
It's a great moment,
but not top 5 according to Mike.
I don't know if I put it in a top 5, but just because there's been so many great moments. But hey, I'm not complaining about it.
What moment from the Eternals bumped it out of your top 5, Mike?
Well, I mean, a little spoiler alert, I guess. Next episode, I guess, is going to be top 10 Eternal moments, and we're going to try. We're going to try our best to just put each have our own top 10. Greg originally wanted to do top 20 moments from his favorite movie Eternals, and I said that's gonna be a long show because we always love talking about Eternals. So instead, let's do top 10 each.
My favorite moment of the movie Eternals is the end credits. Spoiler alert. Oh god. I gotta go lay down.
All right. I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, I don't know why. You're ripped enough.
No.
Take the night off.
Nah. I took yesterday off.
Yeah, you can take 2 days off. It's fine.
God, no.
Am I a bad influence on you?
No, because I don't listen to you, so.
God dang, you're like my damn kids. Don't listen to me either. All right, man. Well, it's great catch up with you. I'm glad we were able to get together tonight. Sorry that we didn't get it to you all last week, but that's life when you have things going on. So for the co-host of the year, Mike Luther, I'm Greg Mahochko. This is Nerds United, a Jittery Monkey podcast, available at jitterymonkey.com. All of your favorite podcast platforms, on YouTube, Linktree, TikTok. Find us. We're out there. We're not difficult to find. We're not hiding anymore. We're out there in the world. But anyway, we remind each and every week to be kind.
And rewind.
This is a production of the Jittery Monkey Podcast Network. For more jittery shenanigans, go to jitterymonkey.com.